Welcome back to Add It to the List podcast with
Evelio,
and Larry. Today we're going to be talking about Indiana Jones,
all four of them.
all four.
Yeah,
Uh, I'd never watched them up until yesterday.
correct.
Yesterday before this recording, I watched all four, and I guess we're going to talk about your nostalgia versus my fresh take.
Yeah, my nostalgia mainly for the second one because I really only watched the second one in Spanish thanks to Telemundo. So let me clear that out the way because the other ones I kind of had to binge watch as well when I finally binge watched them, and that was as an adult. But
Okay.
mainly the Temple of Doom is the one that I watched as a kid, and you can obviously know why it's engraved in my brain now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, there were
yeah,
some definite um, memorable moments for a child.
yeah. That's to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Had some boogeyman esque qualities.
correct, correct. So let's get this out the way. First and foremost, your order, preference.
I prefer it's the third one, The Last Crusade,
Mm-hmm.
and then Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Okay.
Temple of Doom,
Okay.
and then Crystal Skull.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, definitely different.
Yes.
For me, my favorite's gonna be the second one, the first one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. So the fourth one definitely unanimous.
Yeah.
Both of us we don't like. Well, not necessarily don't like. Let's say that,
It's
but not the
least
favorite.
favorite.
One. I got you.
Least favorite.
Yeah. So, um, for me, definitely Temple of Boom is my Temple of Boom. Sorry, Temple of Doom was always my favorite. It's always my favorite. Oh, we got it. We got a Carlos laugh. We got a Carlos laugh. We did it. We did it. So
Temple of Boom is a different movie.
yes, yes, completely. Yeah. So Temple of Doom is always stuck out to me because of obviously the
Yeah.
heart scene,
The
and then the monkey brains and all that stuff.
yeah.
That I always loved as a kid. I always thought that was the coolest thing when I saw it happen. And then I don't know. I always wanted to try some of that monkey brain. It looked really good.
If I mean, if we're talking about Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna start there.
No. Well, I mean, we don't have to. We can start on the first one. I'm just saying that's my nostalgic factor. But I think it's obvious why. Because if you only watch that movie, you don't watch the first one. Because the first one also has a pretty memorable scene.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
whole melting the face scene.
Yes, there's a lot of memorable scenes in
Yeah.
each of them.
Yeah. And if I had watched that as a kid, I probably would remember that one the most as well. But to me, it was always Temple of Doom. But let's start off with Raiders.
Of the Lost Ark,
Let's start off with that one.
1981.
Yeah. Before we were both born. Let's mention that. But let's also mention the fact that these are all Spielberg movies.
Spielberg.
Yeah. That's a Spielberg.
Yeah.
Spielberg.
It's gonna be one of those days. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm crossing my words. And basically, it's all really good films that I've ever seen is like pretty much Spielberg. You got Jurassic Park. You got
Yes.
this series.
Yes.
You also have Jaws.
Yes.
You actually love Jaws.
I do love Jaws.
Stuff like that. So I've always admired him, and the fact that it's most of the story is also helped written by George Lucas.
Yeah.
That one.
That's a big part. I feel like they let him get too carried away in the last one, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Did you know that Indiana supposedly the way they got Indiana the name is George Lucas's dog?
Yeah, they talk about it in the third movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still funny.
Yeah, in the third movie.
I don't remember the third one as well.
In the third
Let
movie,
me get that out the way.
OG Henry.
Yeah.
Junior. It's like it keeps calling him Junior, and throughout the movie, you're like, so like, is this dude's name's Henry? This guy's name's Indiana. How's he Junior?
Yeah.
And so he goes, why do you keep calling him Junior? He goes, well, that's his name, Henry Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And he goes, but they call you Indiana. He's like, oh yeah, he took the name after the dog.
Yeah.
And he goes, I have fond memories of that dog.
But I think it's Harrison Ford, man. I think Harrison Ford did this whole role. Like it's just, he has this swagger to him. To where,
It's like an old school. It's like almost like a westerny,
yeah,
uh, like Jurassic Park's Alan Grant vibe, but you take Harrison Ford and you take like Han Solo and mix them with Alan Grant,
yeah,
and you get Indiana Jones.
yeah. I can see that, and it's I just love the fact that like he's like always grumpy. Like no matter what
Yeah,
role, pretty much in Harrison Ford does, he's pretty much grumpy. I love it. I don't
yep.
know. I was always a Harrison Ford guy because, like I said, my we kind of went after like because when you rented movies, you went with what you knew, and if you know this guy's a good actor, then you're gonna go after that same tape, right? So that's typically what happened. That's how I got to watch Harrison Ford and like what's the one, The Fugitive,
Yeah.
Harrison Ford and The Patriot and all those movies. Not The Patriot, Air Force One. I'm sorry,
You had
my
me
bad,
confused. I was
my
like,
bad, my
what?
bad, my bad. But stuff like that. But I think he does have a movie called The Patriot.
I
From
can't remember.
I could be wrong, but either way, that'll be a whole other thing to discuss later on. But I know Indiana Jones to me was like a great adventure film. Even when it first starts off, when he's like in the because you
It
immediately
starts off in
messaged
the
me.
jungle.
You immediately messaged me like, bro, like this movie just started and I already seen the
Yeah.
rollaway and
10 minutes.
yeah,
10 minutes and 3 seconds into the movie,
yeah,
you have spiders covering a dude's back,
yeah,
which, thanks for the heads up.
yeah. He's terrified of spiders. You
I hate
guys.
spiders.
He's terrified of spiders.
I hate
So
spiders.
just so you know, like if you ever want to like mess with this guy,
Don't do it.
spiders,
Don't do it.
plushes, anything, spiders.
No spiders.
Yeah, he hates spiders, and it's funny because see, I live in a part, I live in a part of town where it's more of the countryside, so I have spiders galore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's not very fond of the spiders
I
outside.
hate spiders.
Yeah, it doesn't. They don't bother me. But
And then,
but also, but right before we get to like any further else, did you notice who was that guy that stole the treasure from him at the beginning scene?
Doc Ock?
Yeah, was
Yeah.
that cool?
Yeah,
He's so
immediately
young.
I was like, is that Doc Ock?
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna see it because you're horrible at seeing those kind of things.
I noticed that in these movies, since we've been doing this podcast, the movies that I've been watching, I'm paying more attention to like try and like catch things, because you always ask me.
Yes.
You always ask me like, hey, did
Yes.
you notice this? Did you notice this?
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's this?
Yes.
And so I've noticed I've been paying more attention
About
when
time.
I'm watching movies for the podcast.
Yes, that's cool though. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's okay.
It's good.
It's okay. It
It's
kind of
good.
interrupts the flow for me, but it's fine.
Yeah. All right.
So 10 minutes and 3 seconds in, we had the spider scene. We
Uh-huh.
had horrible Spanish. We had the blow darts,
Yes.
and then we had the boulder chasing. Oh, and we even had the sandbag swap.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I was like, when I saw him doing it, my dad was watching the movie with me, and he goes, "What's he doing?" I was like, "Oh, he's going to do the sandbag thing where he makes it like the same weight
Yeah,
almost."
But it's because you watch all these parodies. Just I'm gonna just say,
Well,
this
the-
one alone is gonna get you. Is the Rugrats.
Yeah.
Just that alone, you already know where it's gonna happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But it's been parodied so much, so it's cool that you know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I understand you watched all the parodied versions first.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought of your dad immediately when I watched that scene,
Why?
because we talked about last time,
Uh-huh.
or maybe it wasn't last time. We've talked about though how your dad hates things that are unrealistic,
Yes.
and I could hear your dad and there's no way he's gonna be able to look at it and guess the weight and take the
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
my
when he
dad would hate this
swapped
movie.
it and it started sinking, I was like, oh, thank God. He's not going to get away with it.
Yeah, my dad would hate this film, and I think, a matter of fact, because the Temples of Doom, I watched, like I said, on TV in Spanish, and I remember him being like, "Oh, this is horrible," and I was like, "Please don't change it." Like,
Yeah, leave it on.
like if you change it, I don't know when they're gonna put it back on, and and it was, to me, it was really good, but I don't know, I was a kid back in the day watching it. But yeah, you're right. My dad would hate this film, but hate this film in general, not necessarily just one. Like I think all four of them.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
what I did like is the fact that so I watched this movie just recently.
Uh-huh.
So it reminded me a lot of National Treasure, but
Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah, okay. I can get
like,
down with that.
It's like if you upgrade National Treasure.
Okay, I can get down with that.
Because I love National Treasure, but I just love Nick Cage.
Yeah, I can get down with what you're saying there. Because,
But it's like if you had like a suave, cool, badass element
yes.
to National Treasure,
Correct.
then you get something close to Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because I'm not the biggest fan of National Treasure, but I'll watch them. But mainly because of the great adventures, just like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And but Raiders of the Lost Ark has some really cool like scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like sequences, like him being dragged.
Yes.
Him being dragged was dope.
Yes.
I love when he's like figuring out the puzzle with the light, the sun.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, if you watch it, there are
continuing jokes.
No errors. There's actually an error in that scene, but I'll show you later on when we get down to it. But I love Marion in the bar scene.
Oh, when she's drinking the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems really badass.
Yes. Yeah, she's dope as
Which
hell.
I feel like they kind of degraded her character a little bit because she got less badass as the movie went on.
Because she kept screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, she became a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
And that's essentially the typical role back in the day. It was, damsel in distress. But I feel like it gave her a little bit more than like the second one, the Temples of Doom girl.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Mainly because like, if you know, it felt like with this Marion chick, like, if something push comes to shove, she's going to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I loved her
well,
character.
He even said that in the fourth movie. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sure there was a lot of other women after me." And he goes, "Yeah, but there's only one problem." She goes, "What is that?" Yeah. He goes, "They weren't you, babe." And he crawls out of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But another thing I noticed is the monkey in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And immediately I was like, "Oh, look, it's a boo."
Yeah.
And then they showed the guy. I was like, "And Aladdin, I guess."
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this movie played heavily into like a lot of pop culture.
Yes.
A lot, and that's why like it's so cool that you're watching it and you're like getting all these little things. It's things like I've told you to watch this movie before, and you've always been like, eh. Like I'll watch it later. I have other things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy you watched it. Now you're getting all these references. Another thing that I have always thought that kind of mirror each other is where he burns the symbol into his hand. Home Alone.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just things like that, man. Like this movie influenced a lot of things. And the funny thing is, like I said, it's these two guys that just get together and they work their magic somehow.
Yeah.
And they play into our like nostalgia, our feels, our just wanting to escape in movies. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's really cool. And then there's sequences. There's always memorable sequences in every single one of like the movies that they make. Like in this one, there's a lot of them. Because I can tell you that the part where the funniest part in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm getting excited, so that's why I'm talking really fast. But where he's the dude with the big old sword.
Yeah.
And he just shoots him.
Rolls his eyes and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And he just walks off.
But do you know the reason that happened?
No.
So Harrison Ford got really sick in real life. He had the flu. Really. There was gonna be a whole sword fight, like him gonna fight each other and everything.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford gets sick, can't really do all the stunts, so then they just rework it into the script where he shoots the guy. Works even better.
And they tied it back into a different movie too.
Yes. Isn't it dope?
Yes. I loved it. I wrote that down as one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite parts is like you can tell these two Marion and him kind of has history because he's sitting there and he's like, "You want a date?"
Yeah.
And she's not paying attention. She goes, "What?" And he goes, "It's a date. You eat it."
Yeah.
You just get so much Harrison Ford grumpy off of that.
Yeah.
And I
that growl. He has like that growl.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like him. Because it reminds me of my pops.
Yeah, your dad growls a lot of things.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just really love this movie. Like I said, the second one was the most memorable for me, but because I watched it first. But in a nutshell, I'm not gonna lie. I like all of these.
I kind of got a little weary at the end because, well, the face melting was nice.
That was dope.
Yeah, I enjoyed that
I
part.
thought that was cool.
I
Close your eyes.
Yeah.
What?
Don't
Close.
open your eyes.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I
and
liked
then
it.
their face melted, and and then at the end
Yeah.
it shows them taking the box and putting it in that big storage facility.
Yep.
And all I could think was like, oh, and here's where we get conspiracy theorists
Yeah.
going nuts with it.
Yeah, and they've referenced that in other movies.
Yes.
And a lot of other movies. I think Paul was like one that you probably would remember.
Yes.
The alien.
Yes.
But so definitely one other thing that I like about it is that you probably didn't notice this, but when he's moving something like one of the tombs, and there's like these columns in the back with like a whole bunch of engraving. C3PO and R2D2 are engraved in there.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, but it's just a little. That's what I'm saying. These guys are like, they do their thing when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a little callback.
Yeah, and references to other movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially since it's both George Lucas stories.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, I like them. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Temple of Doom because I feel like you're gonna dog on some of the stuff that I like, so I want to talk about it.
Yes, probably.
Yeah. So go ahead. What do you want to talk about it?
The first act was silly. The whole first act was silly. It was just goofy and I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like
the restaurant and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole theme of it.
I don't blame you.
It was just like it doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
With what I expected.
What I like about it is Short Round. Even though a lot of people complain he's like super duper like racist, as in like they made that little boy talk like that. He doesn't really talk like that.
You talking about Shorty?
Yeah, or Short Round. That's how I remember him.
I can't remember. I know they call him Shorty a lot.
Yeah.
When he yells at him.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that that's what his name is. But we can say Shorty. It's fine. I don't care.
Can't remember exactly. But he's my favorite character in the whole movie.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people hate him.
Really?
For that reason, yeah.
Really?
But I thought he was hilarious. Maybe because like I said, I watched it as a kid, so watching a kid do what Indy was doing, was cool. But yeah, I can agree. The restaurant scene and all that stuff was almost kind of boring.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Over cheese.
Yeah, and
it was over cheese for me.
And then but my thing is when they start doing like the plane crash. That's when I think when the movie starts like going somewhere.
That's when it starts.
Yeah.
I also didn't like the whole, oh, they need a guide somewhere, so they're gonna go find this crystal for a village.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like Indy's an archaeologist, and they've led us to believe that he's been all over the world.
Yeah.
You would think you would be able to get around and try and find not necessarily to where were they going? Dolly or no?
I don't remember. I don't remember exact details. Like I said, I haven't watched this in a minute.
It's a city in India.
Mm-hmm.
But they were going. I got the hiccups now. They were going there, and he couldn't find his. I believe that he could have found his way to a city over a village. You know what I mean? I just think he could have made his way there. If he's supposed to be this great adventurer who's going everywhere, and even in the first movies, they lead us to believe. In the first movie, they lead us to believe that he's done so much.
Yeah,
already.
but he still needs help because in the first one, the Doc Ock, he was his helper to Jungle Explorer. Then you have your Abu guy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So every adventurer is gonna need some kind of help. You know what I'm saying? Even Short Round in the city in Asia, I can't remember what part of Asia the restaurant was in. But basically all of them, they're all helping him. You know what I'm saying? So
one thing I did like about the first act. Did you notice the name of the club?
I remember. I just don't remember it right now.
Club Obi-Wan?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I was like,
I know it has something to do with with
Star Wars.
yeah, but I couldn't remember what.
I had to rewind. I was like, did that say Club Obi-Wan?
Yeah, yeah.
It completely caught me off guard.
That's what I'm saying. These dudes, man, they're great.
Yeah.
They're promoting their own stuff. That's the funniest thing about it.
Yeah.
And it's the coolest thing.
We talk about product placement a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you placed your own product
Yes.
in your own movie.
Yes.
And
They're dope. They're dope. What's it called? Did you see? Speaking of that, going back to the first act, when they're about to get on the plane, the guy is telling them like all this information is Dan Aykroyd.
No.
Yeah, it's Dan Aykroyd.
I didn't even noticed.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, he's doing an English accent, so it might have thrown you off there.
Yeah.
But it's Dan Aykroyd.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched many Dan Aykroyd films. I think the only ones that I can remember off the top of my head are the Ghostbusters ones.
Well, that's why I figured you might catch it because you just finished watching them.
Yeah, but
so that's what I figured. But that's like I said, that's me watching a few times.
Yeah, I was more focused on what was going on in the movie, I guess, because I was hoping for more. I'm not gonna lie. By the time that had started, I was kind of getting disappointed.
Yeah,
I was like, I hope this isn't turning into something that I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, and it was meant to be like I think it was meant to be sillier than the first one.
Yeah,
for sure. Like they have a lot of like cheesier jokes, like the chick. If I believe right, where the snake just like starts crawling. How do you not notice the snake is crawling on?
Well, she thought it was the elephant.
Yeah, but
and she goes, "Oh, that elephant."
Yeah, but like you could tell the difference.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's cheesy.
Well, I thought it was
supposed to be funny.
I thought that part was funny. That's the only part I like her in.
Really?
Because she's like, oh, that elephant, but she was yelling at Indy. She's like, I think I'd be safer sleeping with a snake.
Yeah, and then boom.
And then the snake's there.
Yeah.
It's cheesy, but that's the only part I like her in.
Yeah.
I find her very annoying.
Well, she's super annoying. I can agree with you there. For everything, she's crying.
I think without her, I would have liked the movie a lot more. Because it's like every single time like something starts getting serious, they had to throw in her little whiny ass in.
Well, yeah, I can agree with you there because like she was too much of a damsel in distress.
Yeah, she was like
all way too much.
All damsel, all distress.
Yeah, it was way too much.
I'm not gonna lie, I miss Marion. I'm not gonna lie, I miss Marion.
Yeah, and it was probably money issues. We've talked about that for other actors, and it was probably money issues because obviously she comes back for the fourth one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is the light of the fourth.
Yeah, it's like.
Thank you.
Why?
And then you ruined it.
Yeah, I'm like, but I don't know. For me, and then you have the plane crash scene where it's a cheesy green screen, right? And they're falling down, skiing, and then you go to the jungle scenes, and then you have finally you get to the temple, right? Yeah. And of course, I talked about the monkeys and stuff like that, monkey brains, but then you get to the sacrificial scene. What was your take on that? Because you were a full blown adult watching that.
It was.
Was it cheesy or did you like the way they did it?
It was 80s cheese for me.
It was
80s cheese. I liked it.
Yeah.
But that's just because one of my guilty pleasures is The Road to El Dorado.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
It like kind of it reminded me of the bad guy in Road to El Dorado.
Yeah.
And I like that part of it, but once again, as soon as that started, the chick started like, and, I can't deal with it.
And then the cart chase scene, I thought that was cool.
I love that scene.
I thought that was cool. That's what I'm saying. I love these things.
This one is so low on my list is because I really liked 1 and 3.
Did you like? Okay, now let's talk about 3. Part 3, did you like because of Sean Connery?
Yes,
because it's a complete. Because he basically changes the tone of the first 2. Because he's basically like dogging on Indiana the whole time.
Yes,
Junior.
I loved it.
Junior.
I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, and then to see Sean Connery be silly, in a sense, because he's essentially being silly.
Yeah, and in the first part of the movie, like when you see Indiana fall into like the snakes.
Yeah, as a kid,
like it's all the reptile kit.
Yeah,
all the reptile car.
Yeah,
like I love that scene.
Yeah, where you see his phobia begin.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I wanted to mention that to you. Did you notice who that was, or do you even know who that is? The young Indiana.
No.
It's River Phoenix. Do you know who that is?
No.
It's Joaquin Phoenix's dead brother.
Oh,
He
really?
passed away like right after this movie.
Oh, now I feel bad
Yeah.
because I was gonna say that the only thing that I realized is it's really hard to find a good actor for young Harrison Ford.
Yeah, and
because they tried in Solo and they tried in that, and you just can't find another Harrison Ford.
Nah.
Is what it is.
Nah.
You're
But
not gonna find someone that
but
great.
I think he still did it justice. Like when he gets the fedora from that random guy. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I thought the sequence was cool. I thought River Phoenix as young Indy was pretty dope, in my opinion.
It was okay.
It was pretty dope. But you're right. The whole him falling into it.
As an actor, as casting,
Yeah.
I was like meh. But the sequence, the scene, like the whole part of young Indy, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Cool. Yeah, I liked it. I really do give him big ups to the whole. This is where he's scared of snakes from.
Yes.
I thought that was like by far like one of my favorite things of the young Indy, right? And then it takes off from there.
And then like it just shows like, oh, there's someone cooler than Harrison Ford, and it's Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Without a doubt, it's Sean Connery.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you can't. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Harrison Ford. He's dead now, so at least you win now.
Man, Sean Connery was just amazing in this part because he came off of like nowhere. If I remember correctly, like he also basically flirts with all the girls that Indy had already flirts, stuff like that.
So in the movie, I actually wrote it down. It's she's it's when she betrays them or they find out that she's betrayed them, and she's like, oh, I really enjoyed that night.
Yeah.
Talking about when she slept with Indy.
Yeah.
And Henry's like, oh, me too.
Yeah.
And Indy's like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, because they're both pimps.
Yeah. And what does Sean Connery say? He says something. He said it's like stars crossing in the night.
Yeah.
Him and his son pretty much cross swords.
Yes. Yes. And he makes that awkward sound so pimp.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything. I'm telling you, I don't know. Just something about him in this film. And then the funny part is when you messaged me Sean Connery in a sidecar. And then and I was like, yes, isn't it hilarious?
It's so funny because I've never watched the James Bond movies.
Yeah.
With Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I've never watched.
Sorry.
Well, keep in mind I've never watched any James Bond movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm kind of shooting us in the foot for bringing up James Bond.
Yeah.
But you haven't watched a lot of them.
I haven't seen a. Basically, I watched most of the Sean Connerys. Then blanked out for all the. I think it's Roger Moore and all of them, and then I watch Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. So I've seen a good amount, but I haven't seen all of them. There's man, you know, I'm a fan, but not that big of a fan.
You know I haven't watched any of the James Bond movies, and I'm sure that's going to be on the list eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
But that's a lot of stuff to cover.
A lot.
There's 25, 26 on the way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Somewhere up there.
Yeah. We both have them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was my first exposure to Sean Connery.
Correct.
I'd never seen a movie with Sean Connery in it that I can remember.
You ever watch Highlander?
No.
No? Oh my god.
Why until listen?
Yeah.
Why until listen?
I know. At this point, you guys are gonna notice that I'm gonna reference movies, and he's gonna go, no. This is what we normally encounter with this guy, and this is the whole reason why we kind of started this is because it's crazy the amount of movies this guy hasn't seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
classics, especially.
So if I mention a movie, and maybe even movies that I might miss, like, because I know Sean Connery obviously has way more movies than just Highlander. That's a pretty cheesy one to mention, but I remember him from it. Like The Rock. Did you ever see The Rock with Nicolas Cage? You say you like Nicolas Cage?
No.
You see, that's another big movie with him in it. So he has a boatload of roles, but either way, I mention them, you're not gonna know him.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know. See, this is why I stress out sometimes when we go to the movies. We can go to the movies, and I'm watching this movie, and we get out, and I'm like, oh man, he kind of reminds me of this and this and this character from this movie. He's like, oh, I've never seen it. What about this and this and this and this character? Oh, I've never seen that either. What? It's so it's this is the dynamic that we have, and I'm just happy he's finally getting around to it. This is the best thing for me. I don't know about anybody out there. We have been doing somewhat decent and like views and stuff like that and people listening, but I'm just happy that this guy's finally watching movies with me.
It's good for me too. I'm watching a lot of movies
Selfish.
that I found that I like now. You know what I mean? Like I never would have watched Ghostbusters, and I think of the ones that we've watched.
Bro, you talk mad smack about Back to the Future, and you genuinely liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's not my favorite.
No, but
I enjoyed it, and I will watch it again.
That's my point.
I enjoyed it to that point that I will watch it again.
Yeah.
I'm not sad that I own it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't even pay for it.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. Is I literally gave this guy a copy of Back to the Future so he can watch them, and he still didn't even watch them. And I get it. I get it because you're giving me movies too that I have never watched yet. You know what I'm saying?
Some that you hate.
Yeah, you get
Next episode we'll talk about.
Yeah, that's coming up real soon. But that's what I'm getting at is like these are movies that this guy would never give a chance to ever watch. And he's just hard headed, man. When I tell you this guy is hard headed, he's hard headed. Even my wife hates watching some movies sometimes. But she'll give him a shot and she'll be like, it wasn't bad. And she'll do that same exact reaction. But there's movies where she's like, ugh, why'd you make me watch this? But she gives him a try. This guy right here, hey man, have you tried watching it? Nah, I'll get around to it.
Now, it's not all of the ones that you recommended. Because if you recommend a cartoon to me, I've watched it. For the most part. There's two that I can think of. Think about it. I watched all of the DC universe. We're getting way off topic.
Yeah.
But I watched all of the DC universe because you recommended one movie to me.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So were all of the rest of it. I can't pick a DC universe movie that I hated. Oh, Batman Ninja.
Batman Ninja was horrible. And you made me watch it, and I did not want to watch that.
But there were still some parts that I liked.
Yeah. No, not me. I'll give it this. Other than the fact that they become like Power Rangers Megazord.
Power Rangers Megazords that I loved.
Other than that, like there was like no redeeming factor to that movie.
Yeah, the end was nice.
Yeah.
Now I also watched that Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But I told you.
But you highly recommended Tarantino.
But
I was like, I'll start with the newest one. I bought the 4K. I watched it. It was boring all the way to the end. And then Brad Pitt was awesome with his dog.
Dog and the flamethrower. Don't miss out on the place. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. Sorry. But
if you haven't watched it by
now. But I told you, dude, you gotta start from the beginning with this guy. Because he's like
degrading over time. I hope you're gonna say degrading over time.
Well, no, he's what it is that you kind of have to like go into his thought process with films. And like I told you this, I watched the film pretty much the same time you watched it. And I was like, bro, I know you're not going to like it. I know you're not going to like it. And I'll tell you hands down, and you could tell there's a camera. Tell him. I will tell you hands down, bro, I know you're going to hate it. I might like it, but I know you're going to hate it.
It was just, there was nothing going on until the end. Carlos was, yeah.
Yeah, we got a Carlos laugh. Carlos laugh. Yeah. 2 in this video.
Yes.
That's 2 in the video. Hey, you better not edit it out either. I'm just saying.
You can't edit out all this. And you make noises. Your wife is in here. She's dead silent.
Yes.
She's right next to a mic. You, way over there. They heard you.
Yep. So he does exist.
Now the tank scene. Back to Indiana Jones.
Hold on.
Oh God.
But I do want to say though, I told you specifically, do not watch it. Do you remember that?
I'd already bought it though.
But I told you still, do not watch it because you're not gonna like it.
Based on your recommendation of the director. We had spent an hour or so talking about how I had to watch Tarantino movies. How have I not watched Tarantino movies?
Yeah, but I told you specifically the ones to start with.
Yeah, but I have to find those and.
No, you don't. I got them.
Yeah, but
You know I got them.
We know.
What you want? DVD, Blu-ray?
We know that if I borrow a movie from you, odds are I'm not gonna watch it.
Not anymore.
Not a. Oh, I haven't borrowed them from you yet. Oh well, no.
Yeah, you
Next
have.
episode.
Yeah.
Next episode.
Yeah, but all right. So I just want to clarify that, you guys. I did tell him he wasn't gonna like it. I'm not gonna say it's a bad film because I actually genuinely enjoyed it.
It's a bad film.
But I can see why you don't like it. My wife didn't like it, and she literally was like, "You made me watch this film." She's right over there. She's not gonna talk, but
Brad Pitt was great in the end.
yeah,
I love the can.
but I get it. I get what he was doing. Is what I'm getting at. I understand it because he did kind of the same thing in Inglorious Bastards. However, Inglorious Bastards was done a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you that.
Let's get back to a good movie.
Yeah.
The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they call it The Last Crusade if they were planning on doing another one.
Well,
I don't think they were planning it.
I don't think it was planned out because it's the same thing that's happening. Because we mentioned this.
Because there was a 19-year gap.
Yeah, and we mentioned this in our Jurassic Park episode. Why we weren't doing Jurassic World it was because we're waiting for that third one. And you were like, well, that's kind of the same thing with Indiana Jones. I was like, well, no, not really, because they've been saying that they're gonna make this film, well, this fifth film forever, and it's
Since
never
2008.
Yeah, and it's never been done. So just act like that's not happening. Now, whether it comes out sooner than later, that's fine. We'll get it. We'll watch it, and we'll talk about it
We'll
later.
have to do a new release episodes once we start getting newly released movies.
Yeah, but right now the main concept is getting this guy to watch
The
classics. So
classics and movies that you want me to watch.
Yeah.
Hint towards next episode.
Yes. This next episode is we're calling it the guilty pleasure films.
Yeah.
Because it's stuff that I like to genuinely watch over and over and over again, even though I know people hate them. Same thing with him.
Yeah.
But that's on the next one. I think y'all are gonna enjoy that one.
Going back to The Last Crusade, the tank scene was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Now, once again, I heard your dad's voice in my head. Oh, Rock gonna stop the gun. Like there's no way a little rock that he scooped up out of the desert.
Yeah.
It's probably just hard sand.
Yeah.
Shoves it in the barrel of a tank, and it's gonna blow up the turret.
Yeah,
but there's no way.
But that sense of adventure, though.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I know. The horrible thing is, I grew up with my dad telling me this stuff. Anytime I'm watching a movie with my mom and dad, and he walks in because he wants the TV. Because back in the day, well, now I have a TV in like every one of my rooms, right? But back in the day, you didn't have that. So my dad wanted the TV. He would come, what are y'all watching? It's so annoying. Look at that. That can never happen to. Basically, annoy us enough to where we're like, all right, here, watch your TV show, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that might work with me or my sisters, but my mom married him for years. It's like click, voice off.
Yeah, she can't even hear it.
Don't even hear. I'm like, Mom, do you not find that annoying? And she's like, what? What are you talking about? What's happening? You know. So shout out, Ma. Love you.
What you're saying is he had to yuck your yum until you left.
Basically, and sometimes he got it. Till this day, you can ask my wife when he comes and visits. He will sit there and make as much noise as possible. So
we're looking over here because his wife is over.
Yeah, correct. So he will make as much noise as possible. He will start randomly drilling holes in my walls for no reason. But just to annoy us to where we're like, all right, Dad, what do you want to watch? And you know what he winds up watching? YouTube on his phone.
He just needed the volume off. So
yeah, it's hilarious. So thank you, Marvy, for getting him some headphones. Because oh my goodness, that man. But you know that's the adoring trait of my father. Is just he wants attention, bro. You know what I mean? And he's gonna get it one way or another. And now that I say that, am I like that? Hey, am I like that? She said no. She said no.
She said yes. She went like this.
I could. They didn't have to know.
She went like, don't lie to the
All
viewers,
right,
man.
fair enough, fair enough.
Don't lie to the viewers.
It's an inconclusive answer.
You wouldn't let me lie about Star Wars. I'm not gonna lie to them about your wife saying you desire attention.
All right. I'm an attention whore,
You're wearing pink.
but that's because
Grab attention.
you're right.
And you want to make your skin look good for the video.
You
Don't lie.
you damn right. You damn right. So
So the scene when they think Indy fell off the cliff
yeah,
and he walks up like oh ragged as hell.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. That whole movie was like funny and funny done right. Versus like the second one is like cheesy,
Yeah.
but this one was like it was funny. All these moments, like I remember the Zeppelin scene.
Yeah.
Like I loved all that stuff too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that the only time I had ever heard of Zeppelin was Led Zeppelin, the band, or the fact that the Zeppelin blew up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So I thought it was like pretty cool to watch in this film,
Yes.
in my opinion. And then you get to the cave with the old knight.
Yes.
How'd you like that?
That's another childhood moment.
Yeah.
Like the head rolling down the stairs, like
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool, man. I liked it. I love the fact that like, oh, you chose the wrong one. You thought it was gonna be all gaudy,
Yeah.
and then you dissolve, disintegrate.
That's the Carpenter's cut.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Like, oh no, get
I'm
the dirtiest
you
one.
like these movies with how religious they are.
Yeah.
They have a lot of religious like hints, and you usually don't like stuff like that.
No, well, it's not when they play into like religion. Like, oh, what are those movies? Oh man, like
You're talking about the ones my wife loves, like Courageous.
yes, that one right then in particular. We're like, oh, where stuff is gonna happen just out of miraculous because I prayed for it. It seems very vain. Like, oh, just because I pray, it's gonna happen immediately because it happened in a movie. No, that's not how it works in the real world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of movies that I hate. But when it comes to like, because this thing's actually happened. What's it called? The man, I told you about it. The Crusades where they start killing people in name of Christianity and stuff like that. All of this stuff happened, so it's like you can't avoid, just like you can't avoid the fact that people believed in Zeus and stuff like that. So religion stuff like that doesn't bother me, but when it's like you're supposed to have faith because the movie tells you to, like, come on, get out of here.
You're into cloudy territory.
Yeah, but so, and then of course the scene riding off into the what is it, sunset.
Yeah,
that was cool as hell. Now I'm saying all this is very hype because we're about to get to the fourth one, and I know you're gonna talk mad smack. I know it.
Okay, so I like the fourth.
Wasn't wrong.
Just a general synopsis. I liked the fourth movie, except for the alien thing.
Yeah, they pushed it overboard.
Didn't mind. I know some people don't like it because I know a lot of people didn't like it in Bad Boys 3. Again, if you haven't watched it by now,
yeah,
you should know. Will Smith's kid being like the bad guy in Bad Boys 3.
Yeah.
Like, a character, Mike Landry's son being brought in when he was never hinted at in the other movies. I know a lot of people don't like stuff like that. I do.
You're talking about where Shia comes in with his motorcycle and like this dope scene. They make him seem like he's like the next badass.
Well, not even that. Not me.
That was pretty bad to me. I hated that scene.
I did too, but I liked Shia in the rest of the movie.
He wasn't bad. I'm gonna say I'm typically not a Shia fan.
I am.
I'm typically not.
I love Holes. I love Disturbia.
But those are.
I like Tax Collector.
But then you've never got into his artsy fartsy films.
No, I refuse.
And see, and that's where you're gonna have to go to, because you can't say, oh, I liked the stuff that genuinely is loved by these people, where it's like stuff that like genuinely not necessarily hated, but loved and hated. Because Nymphomaniac was, man, that was hard to watch.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, there's a lot of films, fool. There's a lot of films by Shia that you kind of you need to get on before you say, oh, all his stuff. No,
I don't like. Everything.
I agree. I love Holes, and I like
Disturbia. From what I've watched of Shia,
yeah,
I like Shia.
Yeah, Because you
Like,
remember him as a kid and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
even Stevens. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is funny because I never watched that show, so I don't have an opinion on that one. But I do like Shia and Holes. I just like Holes in general.
Yes, Holes is a great movie.
Disturbia is a pretty good movie.
Yes.
He's pretty decent in the Transformer films, where he's trying to be funny and stuff like that.
Think about those. I liked him in those. Though.
Yeah, so I get it mainly because when I asked my wife to watch Transformer movie, she's like Shia or no Shia. That's typically her question.
Is she anti-Shia?
No, she likes the Shia ones.
Oh, she's pro-Shia, anti-Wahlberg.
Yes.
Wahlberg in the films, he was good, but
yeah,
the plot was.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later because those are definitely ones that we're gonna have to do.
Oh, I forgot we haven't even done those.
So,
but I've seen all those.
But I get you. Shia was really good in this film.
So I liked the tie back to the first film, and I felt it was kind of foreshadowing for Marion's return.
Man, I didn't even see it. I'm gonna be honest. And maybe because when I watched it, I was like, so. My disappointment in this film starts at the very beginning, and I even asked you how to which animal it was because I remember this vividly.
The prairie dogs.
I like the prairie dog fade in from the logo to the prairie dogs, but then what happens afterwards? Him in the refrigerator preventing a nuclear blast. That's how he survived the nuclear blast.
Well, that's after the part I'm talking about.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, my hatred towards this film was like
started there.
Yeah, started there.
Yeah, because we both know that as hot as a nuke gets, we're plumbers. Yeah, we know how easy lead melts. Yeah. So there's no way. Yeah. There's no way a lead lined. Yeah, it might protect you from the radiation as long as you have a heat barrier.
No, and then not to mention that, but okay.
The fact that he flies.
He like a half flies, and there's no protection in there.
He's just banging around.
Yeah, and he's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But I'm not gonna say I hate this movie. I loathe this movie or nothing like that. I'll still watch it. Like I still like the fact that they brought it back, like you said from the first film, where they're in the warehouse. Yes. Like that's cool. I love that.
The gunpowder scene was dope.
Yeah.
When he's like. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, he wasn't playing." Yeah. Like the look of astonishment on her face, like, no, really, like, watch.
Yeah. He's. I don't know, man. I just really.
It was a hold my beer moment. Yeah. Hold my beer.
Yeah. Harrison Ford, man. I don't think anybody could do stuff like that.
Yeah, I even wrote down nuke scene was awful. Yeah, it was. They could have left that out. Yeah, it was. They could have left that out.
It was bad. I'm not gonna sit here and defend that because I agree with you there. But another scene that I hated, that I remember, is the monkey swinging vines scene.
Oh man, I forgot about that. That's what I think I wrote about. I wrote down. Shia is Tarzan? ?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh man, it was horrible. It was like, what in the world? Like, I think it still would have been okay if I was about to say if you removed the monkeys. No, it still would have been horrible. It still would have been horrible.
No, at that point, Shia should have been out of the movie. Like, there's no way he's gonna keep up running through a jungle.
At the same pace as like
truck.
Yeah, I know. It was so bad, man. It was so bad. Yeah. But I think there's just something.
Think of the shake, rattle, and roll scene?
Tell me, because I can't remember it.
I can't remember either, and I just watched it. I wrote it down though, and I was hoping you remembered.
That's when they're in the diner, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. See, goes to show how memorable it is.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it while it was enjoyable for me while I was watching. Yeah. But it's not like I can write down the whole scene. You know I'm horrible at remembering movies. Yeah. I'll remember it 3 weeks from now, but today, no, I won't remember it.
Well, for me, I think this movie was watchable as long as Harrison Ford is in it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can describe it. Harrison Ford, Marion, and even the professor that lost his mind.
I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
But you know what I'm saying? Even he was funny because he just had all that stuff from the alien or whatever.
And then when Shia is driving and he hits the statue of Marcus,
Uh-huh.
and the head falls, and he just looks at him like, that was my friend.
Yeah.
It's just like the sheer disappointment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think anything Harrison Ford is memorable.
What about the grave robber scene where they actually find the skull?
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford goes through and blows the dark down
Yeah.
that dude's neck, and
Yeah.
does all this cool shit. And Shia's like, "You're a teacher?"
Yeah. Yeah. It's like finally someone acknowledges the
Yeah.
fact that, like, what do you mean you're a professor? You're doing all this badass stuff, but you're a professor. Get
And
out
then
of here.
when they're crawling through, and Shia's like, "Oh, it's just a thing.
Mm.
It's just the thing." I think I found that scene so funny because I hate spiders.
Your hatred of spiders.
Yeah.
I got where you're going with it.
My wife has really long hair,
Yeah.
and so it gets everywhere. It's everywhere. Anytime she brushes her hair,
I've
puts her
literally
hair up.
found her hair here at the house after you leave. So
Yeah.
yes.
She
Yes.
sheds like a dog. Sorry, babe. But she knows it because she loves dogs. So she'll
Foot
find that as a
and mouth.
compliment.
Every
Yes.
time. Every time. Foot in mouth.
She sheds. She sheds like a husky.
Evil's a foot. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it.
Evil's foot. She sheds like a husky, so randomly I'll get like one of her hairs stuck in my collar,
Uh-huh.
and it'll tickle my neck, and I'll freak out.
Uh-huh.
I'll jump up, run around, and I'll pull it out. I'm like, oh, she got me again. She got me again. And it's all the time. I've done it at work in front of people.
In all fairness, I'll put my foot in my mouth too, because just yesterday, I was watching the movie and I was combing my beard, and I found one of my wife's hair, and I was like, really? Like, how do I get this in here? You know what I'm saying? But that's just because same bed.
Yeah.
But it's not as often. I
Yeah.
do have to admit, not as often.
Yeah.
But
My wife has a lot of hair.
but hold on, let's go back to Indiana, because we're at the end, the most cringeworthy scene, right? Which is, excuse me, which is what's her name, Kate Blanchett, getting all the acknowledgement in the universe.
Yes, that was bad.
I think it was meant to be like one of those memorable melting scenes from the previous ones. It's just horribly done because of the CGI. And I think maybe if they hadn't done, maybe if they hadn't done as much CGI as they did on the last one, like
Yeah.
try to make it a little bit more practical.
They tried to embrace the CGI too much.
Yeah, and
whereas they didn't have all that in the originals.
Correct. I think
Now,
if they would have figured out a way, maybe.
I'm surprised that you didn't bring up. Have you ever watched Fern Gully?
No.
Okay, so the machine that they were using to clear the trees, I was like, Fern Gully.
No.
And it's like, that scene was like, so in Fern Gully, it's like, the chick's like a fairy, or I can't remember exactly, I haven't watched the movie in a long time.
Uh-huh.
But the chick's like a fairy, in like a forest fairy or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're cutting down the trees, and they're pretty much clearing a rainforest, is what I remember from it.
Yeah.
And she like goes like gets sucked under and spit out the back of this machine, and you get this like big look at it. And so to me it was like, oh, like childhood flashback.
It was like the enemy in the film, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember the trailer. I think the trailer played it. And VHS tapes, you had to watch the trailers.
Yes. Well, you didn't have to.
You just
but you had to be really quick.
Really good at fast forwarding an hour. So we just watch them. I remember some of the like VHS trailer clips like vividly.
I'm also surprised you didn't bring up the ants. Because to me, the ants.
The CGI ants?
Yeah, were more memorable of the face melting scene.
Yeah, but
more reminiscent because they just devoured the people.
Yeah, but I guess
they were bad. They
were.
What really bothered me about the ants is you see his hat like on the ants, and then they just leave it there.
Yeah.
Like really, what are the odds that they just leave his hat there?
Adventure, man. It's an adventure movie, but
I get it. He has to have his hat, but
yeah, it's an adventure film. I liked even as much smack as I can talk about the fourth one. I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch him again. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna watch him again.
I think it's just they're just movies that like you can rewatch over and over again. There's some movies you can't really say that about. Hint for you, Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I doubt you're ever gonna watch that again.
I have, but I fast forward to my favorite part. I've watched the last 15 minutes of that movie like 5 times.
But see, that's pretty much that's pretty much the dynamic between us two. Is that I've watched them over. See, again, I haven't watched these in years, versus him just recently watching them. So some of the stuff he's saying, I really don't remember. But now I'm excited to watch it again.
Yeah.
Versus him, he's fresh with it because he's finally got around to watching it. So I hope y'all guys appreciate this. I know for now, beginning as of today, we are officially up on Google Podcasts. We're up on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and among all these other podcasts.
For them, it will be from episode 4, which is the Ghostbusters episode.
Yeah, I'm not good at calendar dates, so if he's saying it, it's probably true.
Yeah, it's going to be episode 4, the Ghostbusters episode. It should be January 25th.
Yeah.
I believe. No, 22nd. Yeah, 25th. I was right.
Okay, so that's pretty much what's gonna happen. But either way, we've got our website up. It's got all of our episodes on there. It's got where you can listen to us. It also has links to YouTube, even our Instagram, and we have a Facebook page. What else do we got? Is that pretty much it? Oh, we got a Twitter account. Not very active on Twitter, mainly because I have no idea how to use Twitter. I'm sorry, I'm that old. I don't know how to use Twitter, but maybe he'll get around to updating some stuff on there.
Yeah, I'll start doing the Twitter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand it. I have one, never used it. Um, but pretty much we're trying to check all bases. Again, leave any comments, like, subscribe, and all that cheesy goodness. But mainly we like the comments because we want to know what we can better at, whether it be good or bad.
Yes.
We're here to listen.
Good or bad.
Yeah. So we definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys, really, for listening and watching. Now, I hope y'all appreciate that.
Next episode.
Yeah, and as far as the next episode goes, just so y'all know, it's gonna be our guilty pleasures, and I hope y'all like that because I made him watch some pretty cringy '90s goodness, and 180s, and 180s.
Yes.
So just so you know, what we're gonna discuss is the guilty pleasures episode. It's the movies that we like to watch over and over again, whether they be liked by the popular masses or not. Yeah. It's just movies that we genuinely like. For me, look, I even have the DVDs right here. For me, I made him watch Surf Ninjas, Super Mario Brothers, and Maximum Overdrive.
And I made you watch Quest for Camelot.
Yeah.
Which we hinted at that you despise.
Yeah.
In earlier episodes, I made you watch Cirque du Freak, Vampire's Assistant, because I love John C. Reilly. Mm-hmm. And I made you watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Yes. Yes, you did. Yes.
I love Scooby-Doo.
Yes, you did. See, for me, it's funny because most of my life, I always thought Scooby-Doo was just like even the ones that are like on film and stuff like that, like VHS tapes, to me, they're just like cartoons that they put on VHS tapes and DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that. So I never consider them a movie. So now I watch this film and you'll see what I have to say about it. But it is, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I never gave it a shot. But I watched them and we'll discuss it on the next one. Definitely thank you guys once again. Appreciate it. Carlos, 2 times today. Maybe the next one. Next one we'll get more. I hope we didn't mess up the audio too much because he gets on us, man. He gets on us.
Temple of Boom is what did it.
Yeah.
Temple of Boom.
I'm over here referencing Cypress Hill. But definitely thank you guys. Appreciate it. Love all around. And this has been Added to the List podcast with Evelio and
Larry.
Thank you guys. Goodbye.
See you next time.